For 5 centuries, we believed we knew the Mexicas, the people commonly called Aztecs, bloodthirsty, savage, rightly conquered. But technology revealed what the Spanish erased from history, hidden beneath layers of plaster in ancient Mexican manuscripts. And it shows how deliberately the victors distorted the truth. An empire of floating gardens, a capital with over 200,000 people, larger and cleaner than most European cities of its time. A society with universal education systems, when literacy was largely restricted to the clergy and nobility in Europe, and most common Europeans were illiterate. And a legacy defined by one brutal image: human sacrifice on a scale that has staggered imaginations for 500 years. This is the Mexica Empire we think we know, though history has called them the Aztecs. But what if that story was written by the men who destroyed them? What if the Mexicas' own books, their beautifully illustrated codices, told a more complex truth? The problem was that these books were nearly all burned. And the few that survived, we could never fully read them, until recently. If discoveries like this fascinate you, hit like so that YouTube shares with others the history that was deliberately hidden. Using light invisible to the human eye, scientists have been able to read texts erased 500 years ago. This isn't about finding new manuscripts. This is about rereading an entire history we thought was settled. When Hernan Cortés arrived on November 8, 1519, he found Tenochtitlán, a metropolis of over 200,000, built on an island in Lake Texcoco. It was connected by grand causeways and fed by ingenious artificial island farms called chinampas. Contemporary Spanish accounts admitted it surpassed many European capitals of the day. But the Spanish also reported something else: towering pyramids where priests performed human sacrifices in shocking numbers. These accounts, sent back to Spain, became the official narrative. The Mexicas weren't just defeated, they were demonized. This narrative was powerful because it was the perfect justification. How could anyone question conquering a people who did that? Spanish soldiers and friars documented what they saw, or what they wanted others to see. Their accounts became the foundation of what we now call Aztec history for centuries. Simple story, mighty but monstrous. Their fall was inevitable and necessary. But here's the problem. The Mexicas had their own history, their own philosophy, their own records. And the conquerors knew that to truly dominate a people, you must erase their memory. The first bishop of Mexico, Juan de Zumarraga, ordered indigenous manuscripts gathered and burned after he arrived in 1528. These were the Codices, turned to ash starting in the 1530s. Other colonial authorities had also destroyed manuscripts in the 1520s. Approximately 20 pre-Columbian codices survived from all of Mesoamerica. Only a handful are definitely Mexica in origin, the people of Tenochtitlán. Imagine if our understanding of ancient Rome came only from the armies that destroyed it. That's the situation historians have faced for 500 years. The loudest voice left was the one holding the torch. But what if those few surviving books were never truly read? What if even the translations we trusted were deliberately altered? The books that survived the fires are breathtaking. Created by master scribes called tlacuilos, these weren't just records, they were art. Using vibrant pigments on accordion-folded bark paper or deer hide, they documented everything. Historical annals told the Mexicas' epic migration to founding Tenochtitlán, sacred narratives legitimizing their right to rule. Economic records mapped tribute from every conquered province, visualizing the empire's power and resources. And the most sacred, codices depicting sacred calendars for predicting the future, such as the Codex Borbonicus, laying out the intricate 260-day holy calendar and the gods governing each